Hey guys, Rachele here with Amethyst Ascension. If you are new here, welcome, and if you are returning, thank you so much for joining me again. So today I am going to be doing my Decan walk video from August. So everything that I did in August relating to my Decan walk. So the Decan walk was, or the Decans that we were in started really on August 2nd with the Six of Wands, which was Jupiter in Leo. But I want to point out that it was actually still truly in Cancer, and Jupiter was smack dab in the middle of Aries, okay? So this is what I wrote to begin with, Lord of Victory. Although the sun is still in Cancer and Jupiter is smack dab in the middle of Aries, I can appreciate the energies at play here. Jupiter is the most auspicious planet of all, with its expansive size and bulging middle. Place that beautiful and expansive energy into the brilliant and confident Leo, and that brings you a sense of flamboyance and victory. This is a very egocentric sign that loves to be the center of attention and also is loyal and loving to those in their circle and even society. However, I feel like this is a short-lived victory because whenever someone truly shines, others come shortly after to try to knock them down because of jealousy or envy, or their own feelings of insecurity. When we think of the next card in the suit being the Seven of Wands, it shows that exact story of standing up for themselves and or having to feel defensive of those that come after their success. It is the nature of society. Now, that's not always. Not everybody is challenged by somebody else's success, but there are a lot that are. So it makes sense that the natural or the next card in that suit would be the Seven of Wands. So, I am actually, the resources that I'm using for this Decan walk are several things. So one of those things being the Journaling the Tarot Evolutions by Andy Matzner, formerly Andy Matzner, now goes by Drea Bloom. And this, let me show you right quick. This particular book, let's see if I can bring it up just a little bit. Okay, I switched it. So let's see, what are we on? Six of Wands. Here we go. Just to give you an idea of just how fabulous this deck is, or this book is. It's got quotes from different people. And then we go on to all of the questions that have been set in this book. Like, how are you at risk? What can you do to protect yourself? I mean, there's 14 and several questions for each one of those. They're not just one question, they're expansive. So they ask one question and then further on that, ask you more questions on that. So here's another page and another page and another page and another page, all for the Six of Wands. 65 different questions and journal prompts. So every time when I'm doing my Decan walk, when I show the questions, I'm taking 13, 14, 15, whatever I feel like really resonates. And there's more. There's obviously more. So if you really want to get into some deep journaling on each one of the cards, I'm telling you, this is your book. Oh my goodness, this is your book. Journaling the Tarot Evolutions. I will put a link down below to this particular book. Okay, so I shut off the lights again so that I don't really have any lights to interact with this for the screen. But I wanted to show you that book because even if you are trying to just learn the tarot, and or you want to do a deep dive, like where you go and do a card a day kind of thing, as you're learning a new deck, or you're learning just the tarot itself, talk about, you know, being able to really deep dive with that book. So the Six of Wands, these are the questions that I took out of the book for Leo. Against whom must you protect yourself from betrayal? How might you do so? How do you define success? Do you feel you are successful? Why or why not? What important goals would you like to accomplish in the next 6 months, year, 5 years? How easy is it for you to accept a compliment? If it makes you uncomfortable, explore why. Which of your achievements have you neglected to celebrate? How is your success affecting the people in your life? What is something big that you want to buy? Why would it be important for you to have it? What are you doing in your life to gain the approval of others? What is the origin of such a desire? What must you do instead? See, that's what I mean. Just one has 3 different questions to ask in that pertain to that first question. How is your greatest strength? Also your greatest weakness? How can you protect yourself? How can you best protect yourself? How is a quest for power and or recognition influencing your life? What is it that you really want? Whom do you envy and why? How are you being used by another? What is your greatest accomplishment and why? In what area of your life do you feel most confident and why? And how is the universe supporting you? How can you show your gratitude? So those are the questions out of those 60-some questions that I wanted to put in this. There could have been a whole bunch more. I mean, I could make several pages of just this alone for each one, but I'm trying to keep myself limited to just a certain amount that you get the idea, right? And I'm using the She Wolfe Tarot here. So then we go on to, and I've talked about this before, the Oracle of the Radiant Sun, Astrology Cards to Illustrate Your Life by Caroline Smith and John Astrop. Oh, Astrop. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. So each one of the Decans, 36 Decans, has its own card. And so this is something that I take directly out of the book because I think it's wonderful. And it's 1 or 2 people's perspective, maybe several people's perspective on how they see that particular, Jupiter influence in the sign of Leo, which is what it's all about, right? If you're doing the Decan walk, it's about those influences. So in order for Jupiter Leos to develop and grow, they constantly need to find themselves in situations in which they can put on an impressive show. Jupiter Leos think bigger than most, and so have to take the lead if they want to get things done. Local events that need creative imagination and lavish ideas are waiting for their special talents. Plenty of socializing gives people with this planet sign combination ample chance to radiate their natural warmth. But if they can find a creative job, then so much the better. Their creativity finds good opportunity for appreciation in any of the arts, and their talents, whether professional or amateur, grow as they mature. With this place of Jupiter, gambling will be a temptation, and some discipline may be useful to rein in optimism in this area. The children of Jupiter Leos, if they have any, are likely to be a source of great pride, and parents will spare no expense on their education. There is likely to be at least one creatively talented and successful offspring because of the Leo link with children. When this card is drawn in a reading, it can indicate the encouragement of a child in a creative expression of their talents. This can manifest negatively as the archetypal over-pushy mother of the child star, living out her fantasies of fame through her progeny. Positively, it can refer to a nurturing and supportive parent. Now, in like events, it can be blowing one's own trumpet, the attraction of some kind of fame or attention, taking a leading role in a local activity, a prominent member of the church or similar organization. So Jupiter is gain and Leo is creative self-expression. And then we get on to the spread. So 6 of Wands, success. I created the spread for myself using the questions that were in that to set up my spread. How do I define success? How is my success affecting others in my life? How is the universe supporting me? How do I share my success? In what areas of my life do I feel more confident? And in what ways do I sabotage my own success? So, as I said, I did create these because I was thinking, you know, as I do my walk, I want it to be like as organic as possible. That's why I like to reflect on it afterwards. I don't want to take on any energies that I'm not supposed to take on. I'm just, for me, that's what I want. So I like to do it afterwards, and I like to think about then of those cards and those planetary influences in that sign, how that affects me personally in my life. And then I use the questions in order to create my spreads. And this is the deck that I used, which is, the deck is Zodiac Tarot. And that just felt Leo to me, you know? So, then we move on to the Lord of Valor, which is the 7 of Wands. Leo 3, Mars in Leo. That's all I did. That's all I do, other than the books. At the end of this, I'm going to show you all the different books that I'm reading, that I go through, besides the initial one for the questions. Okay? So the Lord of Valor, 7 of Wands. This was August 12th through the 22nd. And the interesting thing is that this Decan actually was correct. It was Mars in Leo. Granted, it's towards the end of it, but it doesn't matter. It was still that actual energy in the sky. So Lord of Valor. How fitting that this Decan was actually the energies that were really at play with Mars in Leo, and the sun actually just entered Leo. I understand this energy so much because many times we just have things that we believe in strongly and things that we take on, like True Sky Astrology versus Western Astrology, or digital journaling versus paper journaling, having a large collection versus a small collection, real or fake tarot reader, using a system to our benefit versus detriment. There are so many things in life that we have to deal with on a daily basis, where we have to stand up for our beliefs or speak our truth, even when it feels like it is popular to be a certain way or follow a certain system or religion. Mars brings with it confrontation and intense feelings. Put that energy into the Leo that likes to be the center of attention, and we can see how this energy easily plays out in personal authority and integrity. Lord of Valor, for sure. Yes. So some of the questions that are asked of the 7 of Wands and Mars in Leo are: who or what is making you angry? Why? What is something productive that you can do with that anger? In what ways are you feeling attacked? How can you best protect yourself? Who or what is throwing you off balance? What will allow you to regain your footing? How are you being careless? What can you do to rectify that situation? Are you feeling overwhelmed? If so, how? What is your first step to regaining control? What or whom must you defend? Why? How will you do so? In what area of your life should you slow down and why? Who has your back should you need them? How do you know? Are you feeling burned out? If so, how so? Why? What must you do in order to begin to give yourself the care that you need? How are others trying to push or violate your boundaries? What do you need to learn in order to defend yourself? How will you do so? Which of your boundaries needs strengthening and why? How will you go about doing so? What is stressing you out? What is the solution? In what area of your life might you be overreacting? What should you do instead? What are your favorite ways to ground yourself? And what area of your life would benefit from a strengthening of its foundations? So 7 of Wands. Those were all really very good questions to ask myself during this period of time, which was August 12th through the 22nd. Now, okay. So the next one out of the Oracle of the Radiant Sun, Mars is action, Leo is creative self-expression. The fiery planet Mars is in the fiery sign Leo indicates that people with this planet sign aspect will be most fulfilled using their energy in expansive and showy creative ways. Doing things on a big scale has appeal for this character, more especially if an audience is involved. The tendency to take over and lead others is also strong for this personality type. This dynamic combination of planet and sign inevitably indicates a powerful mutual attraction with the opposite sex. Mars Leos have a strong sex drive that needs plenty of activity and appreciation. A great deal of this drive and passion could manifest itself as creative talent and would be worthwhile developing. Competitive sports and games have great appeal to people with this planet sign combination, and they usually have a talent for working with children in an entertaining or creative way. With Leo's entrepreneurial abilities, this card often indicates a talent for coaching the young in sports, at which Mars Leos can excel. The need for appreciation and admiration is strong, however, and the Mars Leo personality makes for a great deal of showing off and over-the-top behavior. Negatively, this may appear to others as authoritative and dictatorial. I probably did that wrong, and it's supposed to be dictatorial. When this card is drawn in a reading, questioners are advised to look at themselves and their current behavior with regard to the question. The egotism card may indicate that they need to be less bullying and to do more to earn the respect of others. Events: a dramatic performance, a great creative enterprise, forcing oneself into the lead, and bullying others are themes during this 7 of Wands or August 12th through 22nd, this Decan. And those were the actual energies in the cosmos. So, I did make another spread. And for the 7 of Wands, using again the questions that you can ask yourself out of the book that I'm using. And who or what is making you feel defensive? And I couldn't really find the other, another way of saying that, because I really don't think that it's who or what is making you. You choose whether or not you feel. So they're not making you do anything, but it's hard to put that in a spread. What is something productive that you can do with that energy? How are others trying to push or violate your boundaries? What can you do to reinforce your boundaries? What do you need to learn to protect yourself? And how best can you ground your energy right now? So, these are the cards that I got. And I was using the Tabula Mundi. And that was the end of the Leo, the Decan of Leo. Now on August 23rd through September 22nd, we moved in, or we are in the Virgo. Although we're not truly in the season of Virgo, we're still really in Leo. But the Decan itself is August 23rd through September 22nd for Virgo. And that includes the 8, 9, and 10 of Pentacles. Virgo is ruled by Mercury and corresponds to the 6th house. They are known to be practical, efficient, clear, analytical, dividing, precise, detailed, exacting, discerning, technical, meticulous, dexterous, humble, health conscious, conscientious, unselfish, sanitary, helpful, serving, utilitarian, disciplined, skillful, economical, organizational, and dutiful. They are also known to be petty, picky, trivial, skeptical, nitpicking, fault-finding, judgmental, lacking confidence, workaholic, and worrisome. The 3 decans of Virgo rule over the 8, 9, and 10 of Pentacles in the tarot and include the Sun, Venus, and Mercury for planetary visitors during the 10-day periods. So, the Lord of Prudence, 8 of Pentacles, which is the Sun in Virgo. And as you can see, as of this date, August 23rd, we are not even halfway through Leo here, okay? So we're truly not in Virgo. However, Lord of Prudence. I can see very easily how this can be the Lord of Prudence energy. The Sun and Virgo are the celestial correspondent associated with this card. With my Moon in Virgo, I understand that energy very intimately. If you look at everything that I said about Virgos on the previous page, it shows this prudence. This sign is very cautious because they are very particular and detail-oriented. So this is why we can see this as the 8 of Pentacles. The 8 of Pentacles has got to be a very detailed-oriented person because they are truly building their skills of their chosen profession. I'm sure to get to that point, they have had many downfalls and lessons to learn, and also perhaps getting certified and continue it, in with their higher learning and or courses in their chosen profession. They probably are also not good at taking risks and weigh everything against the risk of doing it. Prudence for sure. So, some of the questions that I took out of the book that felt very relevant to me for how I see the Sun in Virgo energy is, to whom or what are you committed? How are you demonstrating that commitment? In what area of your life have you achieved mastery? Why would that be important to you? What is your next step? In what area of your life would you like to achieve mastery? Why would that be important to you? And what is your next step? You see how that works right there? What hobbies have you had over the course of your life? What is your current hobby? What makes it meaningful to you? What is a hobby that you'd like to explore in the future and why? What does it mean to be obsessed with something? Have you ever been obsessed? Have you ever been it must be obsessed, that had a positive outcome, or had an obsession that had a positive outcome, a negative outcome? How disciplined are you? In what area of your life would increased self-discipline lead to a desired outcome? What must you do in order to be able to commit to that kind of energy on a consistent basis? In what area of your life have, not sure what happened here, me and my crazy typing skills. In what area of your life should you raise your standards? Why would that be a good idea? How exactly will you go about doing so? What is something that you would love to learn? What legacy would you like to leave the world? Why? What have you done or are currently doing that will allow you to be fulfilled in that regard? How satisfied are you with the way that you manage time? Is there anything that you need to start exploring that might help you manage it even better? What might that be? How connected are you to your life purpose? If you are connected, how would you describe your purpose or mission in life? If not sure, what could you do to figure it out? And I'm using the Witch's Garden. What is the name of that? Tarot of the Witch's Garden by Sasha Graham and Natasha Alencic. That feels like a very Virgo energy to me, because I feel like probably many witches or anybody that's really working on a skill is very detail oriented. And when you think of like when you're using certain kinds of witchcraft in general, why I chose this particular deck is because there's so much that you really have to think about, all the little details when compiling your spell work, all the different correspondences, the numerology associated with it, the day of the week, the hour that you do it, you know, every little detail that you pull that in. And or just even a mental, you know, keeping yourself at a certain intention and what you focus on, you're organized. That feels like this particular deck to me. And Virgo is an earth sign, so it's still very earthy or nature related, very health conscious, yada, yada, yada. So you see where I'm going with that. So it feels like the perfect. That one, the Green Witch, the Everyday Witch, really earthy based, detail oriented decks feel very Virgo energy to me. So out of the Oracle of the Radiant Sun, Sun is fortune, Virgo is perfection and service. The sun in the sixth sign of the zodiac indicates a person who has the ability to make order and system out of seeming chaos. This card rules health and work with the knowledge that material well-being is a requisite for a fulfilling, organized working life. People with this planet sign combination can be somewhat perfectionists in specialized areas and, as a result, a little hard on those less able to match their high standards. Care should be taken not to develop too nagging a nature in the name of helping the less organized. A good thinker, the Sun Virgoan, values learning in order to analyze and grasp the essence of things. Material progress is also respected by Sun Virgoans, who have a fondness for the good things in life but do not throw away hard-earned money on rubbish. These abilities flourish in service to others when the Sun Virgoan is able to give to those in need. Although Sun Virgo personalities have a great deal of modesty, it is also important that their value is appreciated. Some kind of interest or occupation in diet, nutrition, or complementary health is common to the people that this card describes. The negative side of the Sun Virgo combination is a tendency to over-worry about health, which may be excessive pill popping and hypochondria. When this card is selected, it can indicate a strong need to put one's life in order, and it highlights diet, nutrition, and health. Because Virgos, like I said, they're very detail-oriented, health, you know, concerns, conscientious. They're very servicing, but they do have very high standards, you know, high ethics and standards, and they also are the same with other people. That's where the judgmental bit can come in, among other things. Not always like that. You know, it's when you're either positively or negatively influenced or balanced, and that can change from day to day. You know, we're just people. But anyways, events, analytical work, a new health regime, concern with physical well-being, cataloging or organizing, correcting or editing work. So this is where my Virgo moon comes in big time, because I love to be organized, because it, and I've said this many times, it creates order in the chaos of my Sagittarian sun, which likes to take on a whole lot of things at once. If I didn't keep myself organized, I would never accomplish anything. So it's a matter of knowing what your tendencies are, know thyself, knowing what your tendencies are, and finding ways to work around that for your own sake. And it took me a long time, and I'm 52. It took me a long time to get where I am because of self-work and stuff, you know. And then I did create a spread for this one as well from the questions. 8 of Pentacles spread. How connected are you to your life purpose? How would you describe your purpose? In what way can you commit more to your goals? How disciplined are you? How satisfied are you with how you manage time? And how could you manage your time better? So these are the cards that I got. As I said, out of the Witch's Garden, Tarot of the Witch's Garden. And we are going on to, we've already started, however, I have not done my write-up yet. As I said, I like to really reflect on the time that I've spent organically after. I don't want to, and I've said this before many times, and my grandma, I would watch her. She would read her horoscope every single morning with her coffee. And I don't think she knowingly did this, but I think that she would do everything in her day in order to make that astrology come true subconsciously. I don't want to do that. I like to reflect after the fact and see how it organically really affected my life when I don't focus on it, to see how those energies truly play out, kind of thing. You know what I mean? So this one is the Venus in Virgo, and we can see as of the 2nd of September, a couple of days ago, the sun is still very much in Leo. It has not moved into Virgo. And Venus is in Cancer, not over here in Virgo. Okay, so I have chosen questions for the 9 of Pentacles that we're on. What is your secret weapon? How so? How do you use it in the past? How have you used it in the past? How are you currently using it? How will you use it in the future? What has been worth the wait? How so? Because this is the 9 of Pentacles, right? This is where Empress meets the Hermit. And the 9 of Pentacles is born, or Venus in Virgo. You know, that goddess energy double, because Virgo is also very goddess energy. What has been worth the wait? When do you feel most powerful? When do you feel most confident? What does your wealth lie? Probably where does your wealth lie, or what does your wealth lie? I'm not sure on that question. In what area of your life must you be ruthless, and why? How has your patience been rewarded? In what area of your life are you currently exercising self-control? What does that look like, feel like? Why is it wise to do so? What sacrifice is it time to make? Why will it be worth it in the long run? Whom do you rely on? Who relies on you? Is there anything that you would like to change about this equation? If so, what would it be? What must you do on your own, even though it makes you nervous? What can you do in order to address your fear? How do you spend your leisure time? Is there anything that you'd like to change about that? How can you ensure that people do not take advantage of your kind nature? Do you feel that you are fulfilling your potential? Why or why not? What would that look like? And what is your favorite form of art and why? because it's also creativity in that Hermit, right? In that, many times when I'm like going through something like of an emotional nature, that's when my creativity like spurs, because it helps me to work through whatever I'm working through when I'm just like working with my hands and creating things, you know, artistic expression, right? So that's what we've got here. And from that comes that Nine of Pentacles. So now we've got, for Venus Virgo types romantically, it is important that partners share their intellectual interests. People with this planet sign combination may be in danger of analyzing their emotions to excess, though when positively directed, this ability can be helpful to others in the form of relationship counseling. Their close friends are few, but selectively chosen. The Venus Virgo personality type shows great discrimination in choosing on whom and what to bestow their affections. When this is taken to extremes in a negative way, it can make them downright picky about potential friends and lovers. In many areas of life, however, this fastidious attitude stands this personality type in good stead. With a little more Venus extravagance added to the careful Virgo temperament, this person will make an excellent cook. Something to do with nourishment, pleasure, and Virgo perfectionism combined to make a great but ever modest chef or host. Virgoans always show love in practical ways. Many of their social activities or romantic interests revolve around work or health. They may also be involved with artistic or alternative pursuits. It is important that the work surrounds of the Venus Virgoan are harmonious and beautiful, or life can get twitchy. They display good taste in clothes, and this aspect features in the birth charts of many fashion designers. When this card is picked, it shows that need to be ultra selective, using all powers of discretion to attain aims. Venus is love, Virgo is perfection and service. Events, a close friendship that may develop further, a total makeover, a love affair with someone at work. So the beautiful thing about the Oracle of the Radiant Sun is it essentially gives you all of, like, you could grab your chart just by using this particular Oracle deck, and you can get a general idea. Granted, it's based on the person that you know, created this. Because I will say, when you go to get your chart done, even if you're using the exact same system, I highly recommend going to different astrologists and also learning for yourself, because not unlike tarot, not unlike any other system, there's people see things differently. So every time you go to an astrologist, you're getting their views on what that astrology means. It's a matter of perception. It's always a matter of perception. So that's why I say take everything with a grain of salt, get as many as you can, and then also learn yourself so that you can empower yourself, you know, but it's always somebody's perception, always. But this is a really good start for somebody that doesn't know anything, to just go get their chart done and use a deck like this or another astrology deck that really shows you, well, what could this mean if I have this planet in this sign? So, and I have not created the spread for it yet. I'm going to be creating that over the next day or two, and then doing that. And then I will come back and write, you know, what I think about what happened during this September 2nd through the 11th. So, so just to show you the major decks and stuff and books that I've used during this walk, during August walk, is the She Wolfe Tarot. This feels, I know it says wolf, but it definitely feels like feminine Leo energy to me. It's like being in your own power, empowerment, not being afraid to shine in your own right, and, you know, just really letting yourself take center stage. And that is absolutely okay. You know, I honestly think that our society wants to say when people are, you know, working on themselves, or, I mean, there is a difference between arrogance and being self-confident, and arrogance and self-absorbed and self-love, right? I think that certain terms are just pushed around entirely too much. I think that we should be, everybody should shine brightly. You know, why is it so hard when we see somebody in their own power? And I know not everybody feels that way, but some do, like, oh, they're just being too much. You know, they're just, no. Let people shine. Let them shine. So these are the two decks that I used, really, for Leo energy. And then for the Virgo energy, so far, because we're just really just starting that. Well, we're in the second one, but so this is the one that I've used. I just love this deck so much. It's so beautiful. Gorgeous. Heavy, heavy book. Look how beautiful that is. All the green. Very earthy. Of course, which is garden, right? It would be. But that's why it feels like such beautiful goddess Virgo energy to me. Earthy, detail oriented, very intentional, and the Virgo is very intentional. Yes. So those are the decks that I really worked with. I'm trying not to just go overboard in my decks, because I go over, you know, like so much in my other practices. This deck is invaluable. I have done a full walkthrough and showing how the system works. If I remember, I'll link it down below or put a card here or whatever. So I highly recommend this for anybody that wants to learn a little bit or a perspective of their astrology, a snapshot, but not just about the blueprint of when they were born, but also what is currently happening in the sky and how that can affect somebody, the energies that are at play. And then I wanted to show you guys something that I got. I had seen this on, I can't remember, it might have been the True Sky Crew. I seen it, maybe, them talking about it on their channel. I'm not sure. So here is a map, star map, of the northern hemisphere. It's beautiful, but I mean, I would almost like to get that framed, you know, it's so pretty that came with this. And here is a map of the, I don't even remember where I got this. I think I got it used. I think I bought it used. And here is the southern hemisphere, the star map. It's so pretty. Isn't it gorgeous? And then I wanted to pull out the cards for the two Decans, Zodiac Decans that we're in. So these actually have, you can see it on the back side a little bit better. They're like punched out. So you can see what the constellation looks like held up to a light in the dark. You know, put like a flashlight or something behind it. You can see what the constellation would look like, because these are all punched out in here. But what it says about Leo. So Leo Major, the Great Lion, and Leo Minor, the Little Lion. The King of Beasts, now accompanied by the Little Lion, was one of the, put that over there, one of the four guardians of the heavens, lying between Cancer and Virgo. It has always been associated with the sun and with the heat of summer. Leo Major, the Great Lion. The first labor of the great solar hero Hercules was to kill the Nemean lion. It was sent from the moon by his enemy Hera, the Queen of Heaven, and he strangled it with his bare hands. Its skin, which made him invincible, he wore from that day on. The proud and passionate lion, a symbol of kingship and masculine power, was worshipped in ancient Egypt as the sun entered Leo at the time of the annual flooding of the Nile. Their reverence for its sacred fertilizing waters and for the lion which caused them is the origin of the many lion-headed fountains where the water flows from the lion's mouth. The Sphinx is thought by some to be made up of the body of Leo and the head of a neighboring constellation, Virgo, when in Egypt was seen as the goddess Isis. In astrology, Leo, a fire sign and ruled by the sun, is the proudest and most regal of the zodiac signs. On the positive side, its natives are said to be magnanimous, creative, enthusiastic, and warm-hearted, but they can also be pompous, bossy, and dogmatic. Their sense of drama and their extrovert ways can be misleading. However, for there is a great deal more to Leo than the desire to hold the center of the stage. Ruled by the sun, which symbolizes the true self, the real goal of Leo is the attainment of unique individuality. Hercules' battle with the Nemean lion depicts the struggle to achieve it by overcoming the fiery passions of the heart. Having killed the lion and triumphed over uncontrolled emotions, he can then wear the lion's skin, which makes him king. The little lion is a new invention created in the 17th century. It has no real myths attained to it, although this part of the sky was thought in ancient Egypt to be sacred to the great god Ptah or Ptah. The stars Regulus, the lion's heart, describes as white, flushed, ultramarine in color, has been the ruler of the heavens in many parts of Europe and Asia since around 4000 BC. One of the ancient Persians' four guardians of the heavens, it was the star of riches, glory, and power. The nebula, the lion's tail, was as unlucky as Regulus was lucky, bringing disgrace and misfortune. The shower of shooting stars known as the Leonids reached their peak around 17th of November. These can occasionally turn into a meteor storm, falling at the rate of 100,000 every hour. To locate, the famous reverse question mark of Leo dominates the southern sky in spring in the northern hemisphere, and the northern sky in autumn south of the equator. Actually, we're still in Leo, so it's more summer. But this was, I don't even know when this was done, which a lot of people did not know about, that it wasn't actual. You know, that Western astrology was not actual. And then the other one that I wanted to show you was Virgo. One of the reasons that Virgo is truly a much bigger constellation, it's not necessarily much bigger, but the way that it sits on the ecliptic, it sits this way, where others might on the ecliptic have like a tail or something, you know, a few stars that sit on the ecliptic, whereas the sun actually travels through Virgo's length. So it takes much longer to go through it. I think it's like a whopping 49 degrees in size, something around like that. So you're going to be in Virgo truly for much longer. So what it says about Virgo, the goddess, the winged virgin holding the palm branch Let me turn this around for you. And the ear of wheat, which marks her brightest star, was worshipped as the great goddess of the harvest throughout the ancient world. The origins of the cult of the great goddess, who was both virgin and mother, are prehistoric, but since the dawn of recorded history, she has been associated with the constellation Virgo, through which the sun passes around harvest time. She is the ancient Iraqi goddess Ishtar, queen of the stars, the lover of the corn god Tammuz, whose death she mourns every autumn when he is cut down in his prime. Winter reigns during her journey to the underworld to bring him back, after which he reappears as the new green corn each spring. The stories of Venus and Adonis, of Isis and Osiris, of Cybele, the early Asiatic goddess in her turreted crown who loved Attis, are all variations of the theme. As Virgo follows Leo on the zodiac band, the chariot of Cybele is drawn by lions. In Greece, Virgo is Demeter, the goddess of the corn, as well as her daughter Persephone, who spends the winter in the underworld and returns to Earth each spring. Virgo is also the muse of astronomy, Urania, who was believed to have been placed in the skies by Apollo, the god of music and prophecy. To the Romans, she was Astraea, the goddess of justice and of the laws of nature, who was the last of the immortals to leave the blood-soaked earth after the gold, silver, and bronze ages gave way to the wickedness of modern times in the age of iron. Her promised return and the imminent birth of the child who would restore the golden age made it easy for the Christians to see Virgo as the Virgin Mother. In astrology, Virgo belongs to the element of Earth and is ruled by the intellectual planet, Mercury. That's why they're so detail-oriented, right? Mental processes, but earthy, which were both allotted to it in the 2nd century AD. This combination fostered the idea of practical mind, and so the ancient goddess of fertility and the harvest slowly changed into the ideal secretary, the tidy analytical perfectionist, which is the classic but misleading image of the sign today. The real nature and meaning of Virgo lies in the matriarchal virgin goddess of the distant past, who was later turned into the Virgin Mary, a symbol not of chastity but of synthesis and wholeness. She was a virgin because she was independent, free, and self-contained. The stars, Spica, the ear of wheat, and Virgo's most important star, and the famous temple to the many-breasted Diana of Ephesus in Turkey, was built in alignment with it. Virgo, seen lying on her back with her feet toward the east, is now known as the realm of the galaxies, as around 3,000 of them, about 65 light years distant, are scattered over the head and shoulders and the left wing of the goddess like dim jewels. Her gamma star between her left upper arm and her waist on the card, Porrima, was a Roman goddess of prophecy. Vendemiatrix, the grape gatherer, which marks her right arm, is so called because its morning rising occurs just before the vintage. To locate, Virgo lies between Leo and Libra, with Bootes to the north and Hydra to the south. It is best seen in spring and summer in the northern hemisphere, and in autumn and winter south of the equator. Draw an imaginary area on down, or arc on down from the curved handle of the plow, Ursa Major, to find Arcturus in Bootes, and then Spica in Virgo. Isn't that cool? This whole thing is cool. Let me show you all the cards that come with it, and it's not just the zodiac. Cassiopeia, Lyra, and there's several. There's like 4 of them there. Draco and Ursa Minor, Gemini, Taurus. There's a bunch of them. That's Cetus. Hercules and Corona Borealis. Perseus and Caput Medusae. Aquarius, Pisces, Australis, and Balin, Aristocuke, whatever. Cancer. So anyways, this is a really cool card set and stuff that I purchased also in August. I got it in August. The Box of Stars, A Practical Guide to the Night Sky and Its Myths and Legends by Catherine Tennant. That's what it looks like on the back. Very cool. So the other things that I've used are this book, Astrology For Yourself, or a workbook for yourself, personal transformation. Of course, the 36 Secrets by T. Susan Chang. This is her journey. So it's nice to see what somebody else's journey is. But another reason why I like doing it in retrospect versus beforehand is because I like to look at how other people journeyed, but also journey mine organically. Tarot and Astrology. Corin Kenner. And this is another great one. The only astrology book you'll ever need. So many great parts in here that talk about, like, what does it mean to have this planet in this sign? What does this sign mean? You know, it's really an astrology book. So the layering of astrology on top of the tarot is extremely beneficial. So I think that is everything. I do, other than, of course, and I'll show this one again. If I can, this is such a big book. Ugh. Journaling the Tarot Evolutions. This is priceless. So, I will be putting links to all of these books for you down below. I am an Amazon affiliate, so it doesn't cost you anything extra to support me by using the affiliate links that I put down below. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. Also, the journal that I use, the digital journal, I made that and I sell that on my Ko-fi shop. So I will also put a link down below to that if you are interested. It is a wonderful resource. So thank you for spending this time, and I am sending you love always.